appointment that I can't really talk about right now, but I might in the future. It's not business related. No, you go ahead. There's a real good reason why there's the term mass holes. They validate. Oh, prime. 2 prime spots. This is how real I am. No one's even in the office. Hello. See that building way up ahead that says, that is the building that my office is in. So it's 12:13 p.m. I want to just hit record here. I feel like these vlogs are gonna either be really boring or for some weird reason interesting. I'm not sure why. What this is forcing me to do is because, like, if I'm trying to create content every day, it takes a long time to edit, to shoot the video, to watch the footage, to just do the whole thing on top of like all my client work, all my responsibilities at home. I'm hitting a certain point where it's forcing me to kind of just sort of break and have to let down my guard, have to start letting down, you know, layers of facades that we all put on when we're trying to put out a certain persona about ourselves, especially on social media. So I feel like that's starting to happen a little bit, and it's weird because I think what it's hopefully forcing me to do is just be more authentic, show more of who I really am, show more of myself, and hopefully try to let that be the content that makes this channel unique. And maybe some of you will not want to tune in, and that's fine because you're probably not the right audience person for me anyways. But for those of you that are tuning in, I appreciate it. These videos are definitely forcing me to realize that just going about my workday, living my work life, hopefully should be interesting enough. If I'm doing work that's meaningful, if I'm doing things that's compelling, these videos should be compelling. Because if I'm not doing that in my actual work, then that's a problem. Then I should not even be doing these videos at all. With that said, hear the train outside? Hey, quiet, trying to do a video. It's like the timing. I'm just definitely worried that I'm not going to be able to keep all the pieces together. These videos, my work, my family, and to my home. We have a new puppy coming. I probably picked one of the craziest, most busiest times of my life to start adding another thing in here. I'm telling you, if you knew the amount of things that you would think I'm completely insane. Back to the reason why I started these to begin with. I just turned 38. I know that I really want to ramp up the amount of content I'm publishing, and frankly, just the amount of effort, how much work I'm trying to squeeze out of every single day. I catch myself being worried about thinking if people are gonna like them, are they gonna find value in it? I'm trying to remind myself that the big reason I'm doing these videos is to try to really step up the amount of output. Because I tell you, we all waste time. I waste tons of time. I've wasted almost no time in the last week, but I would waste tons of time scanning Twitter or kind of getting bored and like not having priorities. This is forcing me to like make use of every second and to try to be productive. All right, you're coming with me. I've avoided doing these typical vlogger shots because I'm frankly just not quite comfortable with it yet, but we'll get there. I have to warm up my lunch. And I only have 40 minutes before a last-minute phone call. I might try to capture some of this call. It's with a company I've worked on and off for quite a while, but we've kind of struggled to really get them the most value out of SEO as possible. They've been hesitant to taking keyword and topic suggestions. They want to grow traffic, but then they want to do content that I know is not going to get them search traffic. I really want to show like what SEO really is like, it's quite frankly 95% of the time it's painful. It's a struggle. It's not just easy. You don't just like find keywords and post content. You have to deal with people. You have to get clients to agree with you. We've struggled with that. I'm trying to navigate through the different personalities. Navigating that is really one of the hardest parts, I think, about SEO. Way more than like doing the actual SEO. I can find them topics that have volume that they can rank for. That part is a piece of cake. I should probably be warming up my lunch. This is a delicious soup that my wife made on the crock pot. This is the universal sign language for crock pot. This is my container for silverware. That's an improvement, by the way. I used to keep all my silverware in a little paper. One of the huge challenges I'm finding with doing this vlog and these videos is I want to make sure I capture something that we're all twisted here. I want to make sure I capture something that is valuable, but it's tough because like I don't know if this phone call coming up in half an hour is going to be interesting. I might just record the whole thing in case, but I might record like 3 or 4 different half-hour to hour segments throughout the day. And then you've got 4 hours of footage. You kind of want to over-capture things during the day because I never feel like I know when something great's going to happen. I messed up the time. My call with the client is 2 p.m. Central Time. It's 1 p.m. Eastern Time right now. It's 2:13 p.m. The call didn't happen. My contact didn't show. There might have been a little mix-up. Okay, so it turns out that he just checked his email, and that was 6 minutes ago. He said he signed into the Google Hangout. We're just crossing wires today. Little update. He has since sent me an email saying that he can't get in the Hangout link. He sent me a Zoom link. I signed into the Zoom, and then he just emailed me and said he'll come into that link at 2 p.m. Central, which is 35 minutes from now. So this is why I try to avoid scheduling calls at the last minute. It ends up wasting more time than... Awesome, thanks for coordinating the call there. Sorry for any mix-up. I'll just kind of jump right into where I wanted to start the conversation. Can we step back to the goal of what you're trying to do with traffic, right? Because I think there were a lot of things being talked about. Some were organic traffic, some were for sharing, some were different types of content. And I really want to make sure that we're super specific about how I can help. And let me ask something about that goal. I mean, that's a great goal, I think, but is there like a bigger purpose behind that? Is like obviously because no one wants to grow the business, right? But because that like traffic is so broad to begin with, I think that's where some of the confusion is because then it's like, well, we want traffic for conversions, or we want like, you know, organic traffic. We want. Is it implied that that traffic all needs to be tied to conversions? When we converse about it, I'd love to try to be more specific about, like, let's try to get qualified traffic even, or let's try to get more mid to advanced level users for traffic. You know what I'm saying? I'd love to just try to be a little more clear on how I can help and what that goal is helping, what goal I'm helping towards. I have to say with those two categories, it almost takes getting search traffic as the goal off of the table. Because those two categories of content, they just don't have search volume. They have some, right? Like, and you said you might be able to combine things, but to really be able to lean on search as a growth channel for those is like, to me, it's kind of like very inefficient. You know, it's like, normally I love search because you can get such a leverage from, you know, we can find a topic, publish one article, and get outsized traffic. With these like statistics and growth and things like that, it's sort of like it feels like we're beating our head against the wall a little bit, where you might be able to better leverage other channels to get traffic to that type of content. Yeah, I mean, and I just have to be honest about, like, with those two categories of topics, it's like Noah has this preference that he likes that type of content, but it's completely working against the ability to get organic traffic. So that's why those, like, and the more topic-oriented posts, that's why it's really smart to mix those in. Just to cut to the chase a little bit, like, should I maybe have a quick 2-5-minute chat or email with? It seems like he's the one that's sort of blocking a lot of what would help grow organic traffic, or can that somehow be communicated? You know, I could show data like, let's get super concrete for a second. Sorry, one more time. What was the one doing where you said she's mixing data and then the topic? Okay, the topic was probably making a better, more rank-worthy piece of content by involving the data, so I think that's really good. I'm cautiously optimistic. If this sort of lands in the right spot, then we might be in a really good space, because maybe actually this could be better than, you know, just thinking of it as like, well, there's marketing tactics and then there's data. Maybe combining those is actually the way to be going with it. So I'm actually excited. I'm gonna add this to my rank tracker right now. I would say just do your thing with refreshes as far as the other reasons, but I don't see really a big benefit to spending a lot of time on that from an SEO standpoint. Friday afternoon, there's only one thing to do right now. Don't want to do it, and that would be clean the fridge. Done. Okay, it's the end to another long but fulfilling and I think productive day. I'm excited to not be up until 2 a.m. editing tonight. Don't hit people behind your car. That's rule number one to edit. I know that guy too. That would not have been good. I just wanted to add a quick wrap up to that client phone call I did, the one that was delayed and then we did it later. It went very well. What's happening is the owner of that company, his goal is traffic, but then he has certain preferences around types of content from a branding perspective. And so one challenge we're facing right now is satisfying both branding, the impression that they're giving to their customers, and targeting topics that actually have search volume that will drive organic traffic. So it's been a very interesting challenge trying to meet both of those. I love that. As I said in my video on Friday, branding just destroys everything, in my opinion, in terms of like what you can use to get outsized result. But there is still marketing, there is still SEO, and you still have to find ways to drive traffic to your site. You can't be completely idealistic and think that branding is just going to take care of everything. It's what Gary Vaynerchuk calls clouds and dirt. It's just simply the philosophy and then the nitty-gritty of how you're going to make results happen. And we hit upon a very interesting topical area in terms of what type of content we're going to try publishing. It was actually the idea that they came up with internally there that I'm excited about seeing if I can layer the SEO that I do on top of that. That's what SEO is in a lot of ways. It's layering on top of something. SEO is not a separate channel. A lot of people, that's the mistake. That's a huge mistake to make, is to think that SEO is a separate channel, like PPC is a channel, or like Facebook ad. Hey, SEO is this concept that is a layer on top of everything. And so when somebody's doing content, you layer SEO into that. When somebody's developing a website from a technical standpoint, you layer SEO into that. When somebody's running a PPC campaign, rule number 2 to Friday is don't hit people in the parking lot. People walk so slow. I just want to say thank you to everyone that has tuned into this vlog so far. I know we're getting like very little amounts of views, less than 100 so far, but I know that these types of things are the long game. I'm not doing this for views today or tomorrow or next week or even 6 months from now. It took my podcast 8 or 9 months until we topped 2,000 downloads per month. And now we're getting anywhere from 18 to 20,000 downloads per month. But it took 8 or 9 months for that to happen. So I'm expecting this vlog to be a very long game. I'm committed to it, but I want to thank all of you, the early watchers, the early people tuning in to this vlog that want to watch me talk for whatever reason.